What is up, y'all? Got some more gameplay footage here. I'm going to do a post commentary. Just got done running some games into Stubbly. Shout out to him. He was on Sabine Green. And I wanted to test some of the extremes of this matchup as well as see how the turn 1 Tarkin Town plays out versus like some of the Grogu lines. And I think I got a good mix of some lines here. First, we did a couple best of threes, all pre-board, and the first one I won 2-1. Second one I lost 0-2. I'm gonna probably break those two up into two separate videos here, because in the second set, Stubbly kind of adapts, and I was trying some of the extremes of like so. Post in the second game, he just didn't play a turn 1 play. He skipped, and I wanted to see how far I could get by just skipping and how far along we could go. The answer is not very far. My instinct was that if they skip their turn 1 play and then just ping first action of round 2, you kind of have to play out your 3 drop or make a play, because otherwise they get to go to deploy on an empty board, and that's very good for them. Maybe if you have Kira, sometimes that line can be okay, but did not see a ton of Kira in this set. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this first best of 3 here. So the first game, it was kind of a Grogu game. I think I mulliganed into an opening hand that didn't have much else it could do. Yep. And so kind of forced to play in this way. And these are games you can win, especially against lesser opponents, but Stubbly is not a lesser opponent. And so we're going to see how this goes. So real quick, I do want to pause here because normally I've been testing recently trying to just Tarkin Town ping or ping turn 1 and then Tarkin Town. With Grogu as your turn 1 play, that's kind of counterintuitive because then you don't get to utilize the tap right away with Grogu. So I think if Grogu is your opening play, if you're playing Grogu, you just want to play it out because it lets you sneak initiative, and then you can tap down their turn 1 play. And then if their turn 2 play is like a Fighters for Freedom or Red 3, then you can play a 3-drop Tarkin Town that, and you're feeling pretty good. So that's why I play Grogu instead of just passing. Think here I resource Spark, maybe Red 3. Okay. Idea being that turn 3, if I need a 2-cost ping, I can go Green Squad plus Spark on turn 3. Plus Red 3 is staring down Green Squad. That could be an incorrect decision. Maybe I need to set up the race here. But I think I want Ezra to be my turn 2 play most of the time anyways, so... And yep, just action 1, exhaust right away. He plays a Red 3. I think he should have pinged there, because then I kind of have to, I'm forced to play out this Ezra, but I just claim. I'm wondering if I should have just Tarkin Towns. Got a little cute in this matchup, in this game, it looks like. The idea being that, like, he pinged, so I can always first action Tarkin Town if I want to anyway. But it also lets me dig for a potential like daring raid, so I can daring raid plus force throw plus a 2-cost if that is lucky enough to be my draws, or I can daring raid plus a 3-cost off Ezra or something. So I don't hate this actually, the more that I think about it again, and got the force throw. And so I think looking back at this game, I kind of played it quick, but there's a lot of different options you can do, because you can honestly just slam Akira and be okay here. You could spark force throw. My plan is to spark force throw, I think. Obviously you'd rather do that turn 2, but even on turn 3 with an Ezra out, it feels okay. And this is where I think I messed the game up. You'll see here in a second. There was a period where Stubbly kind of goes into the tank, and I don't blame him. Looks like... So I spark. I see Rebel Assault, Wing Leader, Darksaber, Wrecker. You notice I immediately go for Rebel Assault. The idea behind this is that... And it plays out this way. I just think I needed to answer the Darksaber. or even the wing leader. Um, but the theory behind this is that I discard Rebel Assault. He's most likely going to attack with his red 3 first, fearing Town. So then I can force throw target him, kill the green squad with whatever he discards. But I'm still really behind against the Darksaber here. Kind of just unfortunate the way the hand played out. Maybe I should take Darksaber. But then Wing Leader plus Rebel Assault's just so much damage because, like, he just Rebel Assaults action 1 and then I'm just stuck in an action economy war. And this is the problem with Grogu games, I think, is that it's just your opponent gets not literally the initiative necessarily, but they get the initiative in terms of, like, deciding how and where the game is played. Whether they want to go face, whether they want to or go to your base, or whether they want to trade units. They get a lot of decision on how the game is played, and that's kind of how you lose. So I take the Rebel Assault. I still don't hate that play. It's kind of a rock and a hard play situation, I think. There is an argument to, like, maybe develop to the board this turn, but if I take Rebel Assault there, I think I have to force throw here, and I think maybe if I take Darksaber and then Green Squad, the next turn I can maybe force throw plus Kira. Maybe that's a better line. I think that sounds like a better line. Oh, 1 second as the cat hops up to join me. Cannot see her since the camera is off, but she's here. Anyways, so this was a really intricate turn. I think I misplayed it probably, but I still understand why I made the plays I did. So I get to kill green squad here, and maybe I should have saved the force throw for the man. I think I should have saved the force throw for the Sabine flip. Just exhaust the green squad. He flips. I force throw him. He discards Wing Leader, and then he Darksabers. So his Sabine has 5 health left. I can I exhaust it. He claims I can only get it to 2 health. He still gets a whack for 7. Yeah, I think this might be better. Because then the green squad's not on the board anymore. Get the 3 damage in before the Darksaber goes on it, so my Ezra still lives through the attack. If he attacks right away, then I can just claim and I save the damage from the Darksaber, and if he puts the Darksaber on it, I can still just exhaust it with Grogu, which loses me initiative, but I save the 7 damage this turn. So, and he goes Darksaber, I exhaust. He's gonna get an attack off either way. Maybe you just claim there, and then first action, like, take the 7 this turn, first action next turn exhaust, but you can always attack the Grogu at that point, so take the actions where you can. Idea this turn, I could do 2-2-1, resource the Sabine though, because I plan on kind of Kira plus Daring Raid. Drew a Fleet Lieutenant, that's a lot of damage on this turn. I flip because I don't think there's anything he can do for 2. So here I can Kira, I think I name Wrecker. I go digging. No, don't go digging. Lose the Ezra on the Sabine attack. So I need to clear the board. I'm playing defensive. I think my top decks on average are a little bit better than his, but he has some really big top end. And so I'm going to trade into the board as much as possible. I can Kira plus Daring Raid 1 because of the Quinlan ping. I can attack into 1, and then I'm going to have to leave 1 up, it looks like. And so I'm just trying to clear the board as much as possible. That being said, all my attacks are eaten up, and Ezra's going to have to die anyway because any of his units that I attack into, Ezra dies. And so I decided to just go into Sabine, soak up, like, this way my Quinlan doesn't have to go into Sabine. I can Kira plus Daring Raid the Sabine, attack into either the Sabine or the Fleet Lieutenant. And so Daring Raid Sabine, Kira. I'd name Wrecker. I think I maybe should name Forakaz or something like that here. But with ECL still up. I thought I needed a ping on Sabine there. My brain is fried. I just keep here. I do eventually want to get to higher resources, but I just need all the resources I can get at this point in the game. I take 3. I'm just sparking him right away. 2 battlefield marines. I get to daring raid one of them, trade one of them, and then from here I think I just need to fade a top deck for a turn. And this is a really awkward resource here. You see me check smuggle immediately, see if I have anything I can play, because I want to get to 6 so I can get to 7 to get to Han, but I feel like I need to play a card this turn. So I just resource the Han, because I think the game will probably be over before we even get there. So, and here's the ECL K2. Kills my Quinlan, and now on death deals 3 to me, and then the ping just kills me. So, and here he can just claim to get the attack off, and that's GG's. So we're gonna go into the next one here. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit. And this is the kind of hand that I'm looking for. I have 2 turn 1 plays, as well as a play to underdrop with it, and then a K2SO, which helps a lot in the race. So pretty easy resource decision here of Han and Force Throw. Lets me target down the turn 1 play and underplay next turn to ping plus daring raid if they try to underdrop. No 3 cost. I do like having a 3 cost potentially just to play on curve, but I like this hand a lot. And here we're going to see the power of Quinlan in a race. So we're passing turn 1. We're going to ping Tarkentown immediately. I'm going to go to the next. I believe I resource a daring raid here, because like I said, I do like the option of being able to play on curve if I want. 2 daring raids is good, but I think I just want to play out my curve potentially. And here that's what I do. Ping. Tarkentown is also a little worse daring raid is a little worse once your Tarkentown is gone. And so we're kind of seeing that here. Still very good. Resource the Sabine. He has some ground presence and he's going to flip this turn. So for 2 costs, I just want to go into space. And here I want to wait a little bit, see what he plays, so I can reactively ping something. There's arguments to be held to like hold up Cassian to attack into his Sabine, but like I said, I think we're just racing. Here I play K2 to get the ping on the Sabine. Darksaber would hurt here. Darksaber would be bad, but sometimes you just have to make him have it. Like, you can't play around everything. And just Fleet Lieutenant, feeling all right. Fleet Lieutenant's a lot of damage. He still has his ECL up, but we have a pretty good board as well, and we're flipping this turn. Plus, with a Surprise Strike in hand, I resource the Big Falcon there because we're never going to get there. I'm thinking here of where I want to go. So there was a lot of math involved in this turn. Because Sundari heals the 2, and so I got to count out my available damage as well as how much he can do to me. So let's play this turn out in our heads right now. He has to do 14 damage. He has 3, 6, 9 on board. That gets me to 20. 4 cause isn't enough. That would be max 24. And unless he has Daring Raid, he has no 2 cost or lower card that can deal me any damage. Rebel Assault plus Fleet Lieutenant could be enough if all 3 of his units were rebels, because that's plus 4 damage plus the 9 showing on board is 13. That's 24. Is it even enough? I remember doing the math thinking it wasn't, or that it was enough, but he didn't have 3 rebels. But because it would be 4, 8. If this was a rebel, it would be 4, 8 plus 3 plus 2 is 5, is 13. Yeah, so even that wouldn't be enough. So I don't think he has a way to kill me this turn. I attack with the Cassian first because With the surprise strike at 6 damage, getting him to 16. I have Quinlan to flip is 19, 23, 27 with the, or 26 with the Green Squad A-Wing. If he heals 2, he goes to 24, but the daring raid is then lethal. I attack with Cassian first because if he like ECLs anything into my K2, which he probably wants to ECL into the ground because that's where his big costs are, he still takes 3. That only takes 1 damage off the board. So it would be 3 on death from K2 is 13. 6 with Cassian plus surprise strike is 19. 3 plus with the Green Squadron A-Wing is 22. Quinlan is 25. Sundari is 23 with the restore 2. Daring raid back up to 25. So I'm okay with K2 dying. I don't want Cassian or Green Squadron A-Wing to die. I surprise strike the Cassian because any ECL target he plays is most likely going to be a ground unit here. So the only way I think I die this turn, I can lose this turn, is if he ECLs in space to kill my Green Squadron. He might enter the tank a little bit here. So we're going to fast forward. I could have talked over while we were waiting. Yeah, thinking here. He said, and like, he goes inactive here. We have been chatting a little bit, so I know he's still here. He says something along the lines of like, every decision is really bad for him, and yeah, that's the kind of place I want to get him into. But he starts by just attacking, and then you notice I immediately attack with space because that I think is like the last straw there. He could always save ECL for Quinlan, but if that happens, I attack K2 into base. I daring raid base. He continues to pass to try and save his ECL for my Poe, or ECL Poe for my Quinlan. I can just claim and kill him from there. So in my brain, I think I have this game on lock. I can't think of anything really that does it for him. And he does ECL the Poe. And I understand, by the way, him attacking with Sundari first. He wants to make sure he gets that 2 heal and that my K2 doesn't kill it. But I'm not looking to kill anything. I am just dealing damage. And I have the lethal here. There's nothing he can really do to prevent it. And I got him dead. I think he's thinking about pump, which is why like he claims immediately. I think he thinks he has the game, but the daring raid is enough. And yep, it wasn't a surprise strike or a hot shot. Hot shot would have done it too there. It was the daring raid. And so this hand, I think I misplay this game a little bit. I remember looking back and being upset with some of my resourcing decisions. I was kind of going quick, but the game plays out very similarly, where it's a race scenario, and I think it turns out well. And so this hand looks really awkward, but I actually really like it because we have a turn 1 play, which we can target town, and then I wanted to try and see if turn 2 waylay was enough. Like if I target town his turn 1 play, turn 2 I waylay his turn 2 play, we go into turn 3. I have the only thing on board, and he is going to flip, but I have a K2 and some damage, so I decided to keep it. I don't think it's like the best hand in the world, but I think it's pretty good. And then I'm going to resource a Han and a Hot Shot because I want Hot Shot in the row. It might be the next set of games. It might be this game too, where I get a little cute with my Hot Shot resourcing, because there are worlds where you just want to play it for one. Like I can imagine a deploy turn of like flip Quinlan, play a Kira or a K2, and then Hot Shot Blaster from hand your Quinlan to either like kill Sabine or go base for 2 extra damage on that turn could really impact the race. So don't always resource your Hot Shots, but I think I had the opposite problem where I got a little too cute. But yeah, ping, Tarkentown. We're trying this line out, see how it goes. I'm going to resource Grogu here because this is not a Grogu type game. Maybe I resource Han. Like you can see me bouncing back and forth. Because I've decided to do the race strategy, Grogu has a little bit more utility than Han, I think, because we're not really getting to Han. As you can see here, it's a 2 cost that pings, which I play out immediately rewarded for that resourcing decision. I don't play out my green squad, by the way, because you can just kill it on the way back. But also it can turn on force throw, and like in this situation can now tap a thing down and is doing some good work. He pings, I claim. I understand the ping there. Let's get Ezra out of the way. We're going to resource him. Because I think the thought process is if I exhaust first action, then his Sabine is free to attack. But here, I'm not looking to exhaust this. I'm looking to ping it down with what's left in my hand. Drawing an extra 2 cost was really good there. Lets me go wide and be resource efficient while also pinging down this green squad. So we're going to ping down the green squadron. And we have the Grogu up for some exhaust. I think there I can just pass, honestly. Sabine can't be attacked because of I have 3 different aspect types, but maybe got a little cute. But it worked out here. And so here, man, what do I resource? I might resource Daring Raid this turn to allow myself to force throw K2 because I have Grogu out, and then keep Waylay in the back. I think that's correct because I do want to build a board, and 3 events in my hand seems kind of risky. But I can play all 3 of these events this turn, so. I'm sitting here a little bit thinking. I think, do I message, it's my turn to go in? I remember messaging Stubbly at one point, it's my turn to go into the tank. It might be in the next set, though. There's an argument to exhaust either one of these. Yeah, I'm going to message here, my turn to go into the tank. So I can exhaust the K2 or I can exhaust the Sabine. I think I end up exhausting the K2, save as much damage this turn, because if he Dark Sabers, that's all his resources and he's not playing to the board. I can attack with my Sabine immediately to make sure I get that damage in, and then I can force throw K2 this turn. And I think I can afford to eat 7 if that's his only play. Because, like, it adds 4 damage this turn, but it doesn't add anything to the board. And my Grogu's still around to exhaust stuff next turn, unless he takes care of it. So you notice I attack with Sabine right away, just to make sure I get that 3 damage in, because we're damage racing. Now I flip. I think he has an R2 here, which is really good for him because he actually gets to play something while Dark Sabering. But now he has only 2 cards in hand, so I get to force throw. A Rebel Assault does suck there, because like it's a 1 cost. However, it also means I'm getting rid of a Rebel Assault out of his hand. That's a way he can kind of cheat actions to win the race. I ping K2. I think theoretically I should probably ping either Sabine or R2. That's probably the worst ping. But in practice, I don't think it matters because I'm not trading units. I'm trying to win this race. Grogu here actually comes in a little clutch. It's going to save me minimum 4 damage, most likely. Waylay can help. I think I should resource. I think I should resource Force Throw there, actually. Has a second Rebel Assault. But I believe I have something in Smuggle. So actually, keeping a 4-star here was really clutch. I immediately take it back because I count damage on board. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have exactly lethal. The only thing that can beat me is something from hand or like a Cassian. I have Waylay to cover Cassian. Force Throw can take care of the card in hand that can beat me. I'm specifically thinking for a cause, but even like a Wrecker, well, it can't be Wrecker because of the resources, but like something to remove one of my units is enough to win the damage race for him. It's super close, but R2 by itself can't do it. So I'm mostly thinking for a cause here. This Force Throw is just to get the last card out of his hand. And you can see me pause and do the math here. I count up my damage, hovering over each little thing. So yeah, Force Throw the opponent. I forget what it was in his hand. It was a Bright Hope, so it would have saved 3 damage. Although, with the Waylay, I would have gotten there anyway. And yeah, saying GG's. So yeah, that is the match. Hopefully this is informative. You can race Sabine. I think Wu is correct that turn one saving for Target Town is good. I do need to test because in the next set, um, he passes turn one. He just skips through turn one, and then I was trying to see if skipping through turn two was okay. It is not, but I still need to test whether skipping through turn one but just playing turn two out as normal, and then you can just save your Target Town for when it's convenient, is an effective play line. So thanks for watching and hope that helps.